But that does kind of get us into some other topics too, because of course, the next step from vertical farming, I think, is the all famous space farming,
Mm.
what we have thought about forever. Now, obviously, that's going to be the next step, and you need to master all of the issues with vertical farming and then some.
Well, when you get into space and you get into zero gravity, it comes up with new challenges, but it also, fixes some things. Like you can base entire farms around a huge area now that our sun is able to produce to get the energy to, produce that food. But then you also have new challenges like what does zero G do to our plants, moving that food from that huge area to the people that need it, things like that.
Yeah, for one, it doesn't have to be zero G. You can definitely put these in a spin station and grow them under whatever gravity you want. Maybe zero G, maybe 1G, probably somewhere in between. I'm sure there's going to be some sweet spot.
Mhm.
But actually, while we're on the topic of space farming, something I do really want to reiterate is that I think there's this idea of using orbital farms to feed the Earth. And I think that's wholly impractical.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes any sense because it's kind of hard to imagine a more expensive way to grow food. It's just, even if we reach an ecomonopolis like Coruscant, where you have the entire planet covered in city, I still think vertical farming in skyscrapers is going to be way more economically beneficial than orbital farms.
Absolutely.
So we're probably realistically, orbital farms are only going to be used to feed people who live in orbit. And the second point is that when we think about O'Neill cylinders,
Mhm.
which is my mission to mention O'Neill cylinders in every episode, apparently. That's typically how we think about people living in orbit is on O'Neill cylinders. And I think there is this idea because when you see them depicted a lot in renders or in fiction, it always looks like kind of rural farmland. You see a very dispersed population and most people are like feeding themselves and all the food for the O'Neill cylinder is grown on the O'Neill cylinder. I also just don't think that that's actually true. In my opinion, you're going to do it in a couple of different ways. One of the ways that to me makes a lot of sense is that the farms are going to be fully different structures because they do not have the same design considerations that an O'Neill cylinder with people have. So you can build them much cheaper, use less shielding, have less safety measures, and grow the food that way, and maybe even lower gravity. You can potentially keep them sterile. They don't have to look pretty because if you're trying to grow in the internal surface of your O'Neill cylinder, it needs to look nice. So you can get rid of all of that, make it a fully self-contained industrial facility that just grows food and then ships it over to O'Neill cylinders. And once you're in orbit, it's really easy to move things around
Mhm.
between structures so long as they're in fairly similar orbits. So you probably have these farms existing, growing food in very industrial environments and shipping it out for O'Neill cylinders. And then the cylinders themselves probably have a couple of gardens, maybe for nice areas, maybe an apple orchard if people like that to go pick their own apples. But just like how most cities aren't growing their own food, most O'Neill cylinders probably aren't growing their own food.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, especially if you can have the farming cylinder right next to the housing one, and you could just move that back and forth, no problem. And then because it's an entire man, built structure, the redistribution of that throughout the cylinder would be easy through underground,
Yeah.
railways or pipelines. But however they built the logistics system, it would just make sense to not even clutter up the system with that. And
Yeah.
like you said, just leave it for things that are pleasant
Yeah,
and make life
absolutely.
better.
Or I could also see if you did want to grow it on your own O'Neill cylinder, or maybe you have an interstellar colony ship where the idea of an extra ship to feed you isn't possible, isn't practical. I could see you having an interior structure where the people live, and then maybe a layer outside surrounding that where you grow all of your food hydroponically through artificial light, artificial means. It's not going to look like your idyllic farm. Again, going to be an industrial space. And I think you would probably put that relatively, it would be underneath of the living cylinder, right? It'd be closer to the outside. And I think you would do that for the main reason being why not take advantage of it being extra shielding, right? Put it closer to the skin of the ship. That's another layer between your population and the outside of space. Soak up a little more radiation. And in the event of like a micrometeor strike or a strike, maybe you lose some farmland, but that's better than puncturing the inside of your hull.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening too, or you could even go the opposite approach if you wanted. We imagine these O'Neill cylinders having an internal cylinder, which would represent the sky, right?
Mhm.
Perhaps that low gravity area could also be utilized to house some of your agriculture.
Yeah, no, I mean, you definitely could, and it's a really interesting thought, like using it as walls or shielding, but it's also would be a great design because when you build vertically, you don't have to build, like I feel a lot of people think of like stacking floors, but you can actually build in columns,
Yeah, absolutely.
and those columns inside of them have water feeding plants on both sides. It's actually a more efficient way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.